he did to wrestling in Waterloo. You know, you talk to the guys who competed back in the 60s and 70s, they talk about Russ Smith having all the wrestlers' pictures on the sports page prior to the East-West dual meets and having packed crowds. Admission, you had to get there before the JV match even started just so you could get a seat. He did a fantastic job in promoting high school and college wrestling. He wrote a great book about Dan Gable after he won his Olympic title. And last year we honored the Russ Smith family with the inaugural award. This year's award goes to Steve Knipp, and I can't think of a more deserving person to receive this award. And I think we've set the bar pretty high for this award, so we're going to have to find some people that have really done some tremendous things in order to find the right person to get this award on an annual basis going forward. Steve Knipp will receive the Russ Smith Community Impact Award for his years of service to wrestling. Steve was the head coach in Waterloo East for 26 years. He led his Trojans to the Iowa State Team Title Class 3A in 1983. He coached 30 state place winners in his time, 8 individual state champions. He's best known for his work as a volunteer at the local, state, and national events. USA Wrestling has recognized him as the Kids Person of the Year in 2002, as well as the National Events Person of the Year in 2007. Presenting Steve Knipp's award is his brother, Tom Knipp. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Knipp.
Just an old wrestling injury there. Not really. But in light of the inspiring words we've heard here in the last 5 minutes, I'm just going to zip through this. And I had planned to be like last, so I was going to be able to memorize this before I got up. Oh, I forget the first rule. But so if I'm reading more than is appropriate, that's why I didn't have it memorized. But anyway, I wanted to start off because I noticed this right off. You guys still look like wrestlers to me. You might have ties on, the necks give it away, okay? Despite what the basketball folks will tell you, we dress up, we clean up pretty well. In any case, I'm very honored to be here tonight amongst the icons of this sport. Certainly this congregation of people is, I'm just awestruck by the people that are here. And I'm especially honored that my brother Steve asked me to be his presenter. Steve and I have been best friends since we grew up together as little kids. So I had to write this and rewrite it so that I left the sentimentalism out, and just give you the facts. So well, let's run through those real quick. Steve Knipp has devoted countless hours and energy to promoting youth wrestling in Iowa over the last 3.5 decades, beginning with his tenure as wrestling coach at East Waterloo High School. He won a state title with East in 1983. While coaching and teaching high school math, he became very involved with USA Wrestling. He organized and directed over 40 USA and/or Iowa Wrestling Federation state, regional, and national wrestling events in the Cedar Valley. In 2007, he was named Events Person of the Year by USA Wrestling after being tournament director for the A6 Folk Style National Championship, Northern Plains, and National Kids Cadets Freestyle and Greco-Roman Championships, and 2 regional Olympic and AAU Freestyle and Greco-Roman Championships. He was also selected as the May 2007 Volunteer of the Month in the 2002 USA Kids Person of the Year. He currently serves as the treasurer for the IWF and is a high-ranking official with the United States Wrestling Officials Association. Steve is a member of the East High Athletic Hall of Fame and the Iowa High School Wrestling Hall of Fame. He has been named Iowa Wrestling Federation Official of the Year. Just from that resume, it's certainly easy to see how Steve qualifies for this award for community impact. It's not hard to see how those types of things help our community in so many ways, but I guess I'd submit to you that his best contribution to this community was through the kids and students whose lives he was able to touch by teaching and coaching. Just to highlight that point real quickly, Steve told me a story a while back about how, I might get some of the details wrong here, but bear with me. The school board or somebody was going to make it a rule that you could not compete in wrestling or any other sport if you had less than a 2.0 GPA. Now that sounded reasonable to me, and I thought, yeah, well, so you signed up to that, right? Well, no, Steve told me he did, with a lot of conviction, and the reason he didn't favor that kind of rule is because though it was a noble idea to try to motivate kids to study harder in school and try to make more of themselves in the classroom, there would undoubtedly be some kids that would be left out, that wouldn't be able to compete. And Steve said to me, he said, that is a lot of these kids' only exposure to a higher ideal, something outside themselves. You can learn the value of working hard and achieving a goal. You learn the value of teamwork. You learn the value of having the respect of your fellow students and the community. Steve explained all that to me, and I said, yeah, I'm on your side. But the point was that Steve saw the wrestling coaching job as more than just teaching kids wrestling. That he was preparing the future citizens of our community to be better people. And through those character building opportunities they had by competing in sports, it far outweighed the motivational factor of making that rule. And I totally respect him even more for that, because that was a hard position to take at the time. He never expected any recognition for anything he did, and he volunteers for most of this stuff. He doesn't get paid. Always bitches about it afterwards, but it never works quite the way he wanted it to. That isn't in the speech. With that, please join me in showing your appreciation for Steve Knipp as a winner.